Hello.
Hi.
Happy Thursday.
Oh, there's the Thursday. I'm very
Happy.
excited for Friday.
Yeah, when we're recording this, Easter's coming up on this Sunday.
420, baby.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Just blaze up. Watch me hippity hoppity into a joint, baby.
I'll be working.
I'll be working.
And
Uh,
so I changed my hair.
I love it. I can't wait
So
for.
yeah, it's not fully done. I got to add blonde in yet to go for that calico look. But if you're wondering, because I'm gonna be releasing this episode as my next case and push my other two back. So if you're watching us on YouTube, you're going to see me with this hair, and then you're going to see me with blue hair, and you're going to see me with this hair again.
Honestly, for me, you'll probably see my face probably is fatter. Like it'll be, you'll like post this, and my face will be really thin, and then like you'll post the next one, like, wow, I ever put on weight. With them chubby cheeks. Just know this chin is getting chiseled, guys.
Yes, it
I'm,
is.
I'm
She's doing
working
great
on
with
it.
her weight loss.
Yeah. 62 pounds down today. Hell yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah, brother.
We're so
The
funny.
reason why I know. I want to move this case up a little, just so that way I want to release it in April because this case takes place in April, um, instead of the other ones that I have recorded ahead of time. I'm going to push those ones back a little. So
And guess what, guys? It's our podcast, so we can do that.
yeah, we'll do whatever the heck we want.
We just buckle up and go for
Yeah,
the ride.
yeah, yeah. And it's weird that it has been working out where like the cases we've been having have been kind of falling in the months of like February, March,
I
April.
know.
It's
It's so
weird.
crazy.
Yeah. And it's not on purpose.
No, it really wasn't.
Like when we decide to record these and pick these cases, like it's random. Like we're just picking from our list.
Yeah, it's kind of like I just go for vibes, man. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
what am I vibing with this week as far as what am I gonna do? Because
Yeah.
I
What am
have
I
to have
feeling?
myself in the right mental space for certain cases,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So
I agree. Well, I'm covering another mysterious disappearance. Uh, this is the case of Brian Shaffer. I'm sure if you're a true crime junkie, you probably know this case or his name. But Brian mysteriously disappeared in the early hours of April 1st, 2006, after a night out drinking with friends. He walked into a bar and was never seen again.
it's
Literally,
crazy.
never seen again, never seen leaving, nothing. So, all right. Brian Randall Shaffer, he was born on February 25th, 1979, to parents Randy and Renee Shaffer in Pickerington, Ohio, which is a suburb outside of Columbus, Ohio. He has a younger brother named Derek. Brian graduated from high school in 1997 and went to Ohio State University for his undergraduate work. In 2003, he graduated with a degree in microbiology.
Oh, super cool.
Yeah, so
I
he's a
would
smart guy.
I really think like biology probably would have been like a major of mine if I would have done something with my life.
Yeah, I remember you talking about liking biology in high school and stuff.
Oh, you do remember that? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So after he got his degree in microbiology, he began his studies at the Ohio State University College of Medicine in 2004 to become a doctor.
Wow.
This is where, yeah, this is where he met his girlfriend Alexis Wagoner, who was also a fellow medical student. Despite his interest in pursuing a medical career, Brian often expressed that his real dream was to start a band and play music, kind of along the genre of like Jimmy Buffett style.
Dude, this guy sounds like he would be friends with us.
Yeah, he does.
Like nursing and rocking out? Like hell yeah.
Yeah, yeah. He had always been attracted to the laid-back vibe and lifestyle of tropical locations,
Again.
just like us. We
Hell
love our
yeah,
tropical
brother.
places. Yeah. Even though he did like the kind of laid back vibe and everything, his favorite band was Pearl Jam, and he had a tattoo of them on his left arm.
And tattoos? Yep, we're
Right?
friends now.
No. Right, we would have been great friends, I
We
think.
would have been great friends.
On March 6, 2006, not long before spring break, Brian's mom, Renee, passed away from myelodysplastic syndrome. Yeah. This is a disorder that disrupts the production of blood cells. It's like a precursor to leukemia. These patients are often anemic, requiring frequent blood transfusions, and my grandma actually had this and passed away from it.
Oh, it's really sad.
Yeah. Some patients may get chemo to treat it or a bone marrow transplant to slow progression, but ultimately there is no cure for myelodysplastic syndrome. Brian was very close with his mom, so her death was very hard on him. But looking back, friends say he appeared to be handling it well. They didn't believe he was depressed or experiencing any suicidal thoughts or anything like that. He reportedly was focused on his upcoming medical school exams before taking time off for spring break because Brian and his girlfriend Alexis had planned a spring break trip to Miami, Florida, coming up on April 3rd. It is said that Brian was going to propose to Alexis on this trip.
Aw.
Yeah. On March 31st, 2006, Brian met up with his dad for dinner after studying for an upcoming exam. Brian had also called his brother Derek to see if he wanted to meet up and go out that night, but Derek was unable to attend, and that was sadly the last time he ever spoke to Brian. Brian started his spring break off later that night by bar hopping with some friends. Looking back, his dad Randy said that Brian seemed exhausted after pulling several all-nighters to study and was still dealing with the grief of losing his mom. Randy said he studied so hard that month and he was ready to go on vacation. I still, to this day, don't know why, being tired like that, why he had to go out that night, Friday night.
That's tough, yeah.
It is.
Because, I mean, I'm sure you remember Kirsten. Now, he's trying to be a doctor, but,
Yeah.
still the same things of spending those nights of,
Mm-hmm.
trying to study and everything, but
Yeah.
then also balance your social life. I mean, when you were in nursing,
I
that
had no
was
life.
yeah, and when me and you were partying, it was like go out to the bar, get shit faced, and we come home,
Yeah. Yeah.
Or if you were chilling at my house, we were just sitting there being bad kids in bed. That sounds wrong, but I don't mean it that way. But I didn't want to say what we were doing, but not like that.
Yeah, not like that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, nursing school, personally, I wouldn't do it again. It was the hardest thing I've ever done.
Yeah, so
So I
imagine,
can't imagine
yeah,
in medical school how
yeah,
busy he is.
yeah, and then trying to socialize and stuff, and
Yeah, it's
he
tough.
honestly probably by the end of the week really just had a fuck it attitude. Like fuck it, I put in all. I want a beer tonight or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. And it was spring break. He was probably
Yeah,
ready to let loose and have some fun that he hasn't been able to have for months because of studying.
yeah, can't blame the guy.
No. Around 10 or 11 p.m. that night, Shaffer and his former roommate, Clint Florence, started the night at the Ugly Tuna Saloona, which was near the. I know, it's such a funny name.
I don't know why it's so funny.
I laughed too the first time I saw it.
Where you going tonight? Oh, the tuna saloona. Okay, I'm
um,
on one today. I'm sorry.
so the Ugly Tuna was near the Ohio State University campus. Around this time, he also called his girlfriend, who was currently a few hours away visiting family. Alexis said, when I talked to him, he said, this is my chance to talk about you with the guys, and I love you. I will see you in just a couple days.
Oh.
Yeah. So Brian and his friend Clint Florence, they visited several other bars before meeting up with Florence's friend Meredith Reed. She then drove the group back to the Ugly Tuna Saloona. where they arrived around 1:15 a.m. After you enter the doors to go to this bar, you immediately you go in, and then there's it's a little lobby, and you go up an escalator, and then the entrance to the bar is at the top of this escalator.
Okay.
This is the only entrance to the bar, and the three of them are captured on security camera going up the escalator.
This kind of reminds me of Tellus,
Yeah, a little bit. You
but
gotta go
not an
upstairs. Yeah,
escalator. But yeah, going up the
yeah.
stairs. She
Did
agrees.
you hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear Leia. His brother Derek said he looked like he was having a good time. Nothing seemed off at all, referring to the security videos, and he saw them later on. Shaffer was seen talking with two women outside the bar around 1:50 a.m. A few minutes later, Shaffer turned back around and headed inside the bar, and he was seen re-entering the bar at 1:55. After that, he was never seen again.
We don't have footage that he went to the bathroom. We don't have footage that he. What the heck? That footage was deleted.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
If you can sit here and tell me all his steps up to that point, but you can't tell me whether he walked back down those steps or walking into that bathroom, somebody deleted that footage.
So the bar closed at 2 a.m. on April 1st. So since he was seen re-entering at 1:55, you would think he was going to look for his friend so they can leave. Florence and Reed looked around for Shaffer at closing, but they couldn't find him. They called his cell phone and left a message. They even waited outside the bar for a little bit out front, but after not seeing him, they assumed he just went back to his apartment, so they left and went home.
So, did you see footage of these friends? Can you see the friends leaving the bar?
They don't specifically say that, but footage is reviewed by police where they say everyone's accounted for except for Shaffer. He's the only one that enters and doesn't leave.
God, that's so weird.
Yeah. Later that afternoon on the 1st, Alexis tried to call Brian, but it goes to voicemail. She assumed he was just sleeping because he was out late the night before, but when she still didn't hear from him on the 2nd, she became concerned. She called his dad, Randy, who also hadn't heard from Brian. Randy went to check on Brian's apartment and found it untouched. His car was there, his bed was made, and his medical books were neatly placed on his shelves. The next day on the 3rd, Brian and Alexis were due to leave for Miami, but when he never showed up to the airport, he was reported as missing. Police, family, and friends immediately began searching the area surrounding the bar where he was last seen. They retraced his last known steps, checked hospitals and homeless shelters, as well as a construction site near the bar and the shores of the Olentangy River. Alexis said, "We made missing posters and we started hanging them all over the place. Then from there, we just started searching everywhere. We looked up and down the Olentangy River. We looked in every dumpster that was there on campus. I was very brokenhearted and just very scared."
I could not imagine being a family member or friend trying to find somebody and having to look in dumpsters.
Yeah.
Wondering if you're about to open that up and see
Right.
the dead body of your loved one in there. I could not imagine that.
I know. Your heart would sink every time you open it up.
Yeah, I'd be sick to my stomach that entire time.
Yes.
I could not imagine.
No. Police reviewed security footage from the Ugly Tuna and saw him arriving at the bar as well as standing outside around closing time and re-entering the establishment at 1:55 a.m. like I mentioned. The Ugly Tuna only had one entrance at the top of the escalator. Anyone entering or leaving from this would be caught on surveillance cameras, but Brian is never seen leaving. The only way he could have exited the bar that night was from, other than the front, was a back service door, but this was used exclusively by staff members. It also opened to a construction site that would have been very dangerous for a sober person to walk through, let alone someone who was intoxicated.
And do we know that he was actually intoxicated?
Yeah, him and his friend were doing shots throughout the night.
So it was confirmed he was feeling it,
Yeah, I don't know how drunk he was, but yeah, he had been drinking for a few hours.
Okay, yeah.
Cadaver dogs were brought in but didn't pick up any traces of Brian there or anywhere else around the bar. Police also looked at security cameras at nearby bars that would have captured him, but no trace of him was found.
What the fuck?
Police interviewed over 100 people, including bar staff, the two women that he was seen talking to outside the bar, and even the band that was performing that night, but no one had any information on his whereabouts.
Well,
His case starts to go cold after this.
let's give a shout out that police are actually putting in some work here, okay?
They are, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Here, yeah.
He is an attractive young white man. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but
I mean,
they are putting in work, yes.
yeah.
Neither his cell phone, credit cards, nor bank account have been used since the night he disappeared.
Oh, is there any pings on his cell phone or anything?
We're gonna get to that.
Okay.
A detective on the case said surveillance video haunts him, as he is 100% sure every person who went in the bar can be seen on video leaving except for Brian.
That is chilling.
It is. Like, how is that possible?
Yeah.
Where'd he go?
Literally, where did this man go?
Goes in at 1:55. The bar closes at 2. Within minutes, he's gone.
Yep. This is crazy.
Yeah, makes no sense. Months go by with no leads. In July of 2006, the band Pearl Jam was playing a show in Cincinnati, Ohio, and Eddie Vedder, the lead singer, brought up Brian's disappearance on stage.
Aww.
And mentioned it to the audience and was reading off his missing persons poster. So I thought that was really cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah. Alexis would call his cell phone every night and it would go straight to voicemail every time, except one night in September of 2006 when she heard the phone ring 3 times. There was no answer, though. The call pinged from a tower in a town called Hilliard, but unfortunately the carrier concluded that the rings were likely a glitch in the system.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Which that's really, how does that happen, though? That's
technology,
creepy.
Man.
It's creepy.
It is. But technology.
Yeah. Everyone close to Brian agreed to take a polygraph test except for Florence. He reportedly refused the test because he felt he had told police everything he knew about the night Brian disappeared. And I can see both sides of that because let me tell you, if I'm ever for some reason questioned about something, I'm not taking a polygraph.
No, me neither. Even if
my ADHD brain goes a million miles a minute, it's going to show deception. Even if I was 2 million miles away from where the crime happened, I'm going to show deception because I'm too anxious.
Yeah. For me,
I can never turn my brain off.
I'm not taking it. I don't care what you say. It's not admissible in court. You're not given a polygraph from me.
So I can see both sides of how that looks weird. Why don't you just take it? But also, I wouldn't. So
yeah, I'm kind of behind him with his attitude, though. Like, hey, yo, I told you everything I know. Leave me alone. Yeah, you can't help but have that attitude when really you did not. It seems like they were just having a good night and whatever, and isn't any concern to take that investigation further into that person. Do you know what I mean? So I don't blame them having the attitude of get off my back, yo. I told you everything.
Yeah. In September of 2008, Brian's dad, Randy, sadly died in a freak accident when he was hit by a tree in his yard during a storm.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's so scary.
Right? So now not only did Derek lose his brother Brian, who's missing, but he lost his mom, and now he lost his dad.
Oh my God, this poor
It's just
man.
Derek left. Yeah. One creepy little thing, a note was left on Randy's online obituary that said, quote, "Dad, I love you. Love, Brian." And in parentheses, it said U.S. Virgin Islands.
No.
So authorities look into it, but the source of the post was from a public computer in Ohio, so they deemed it a hoax.
Yeah.
It's still just kind of like weird. Like, why would you do that?
It is weird, but people are so shitty.
They are.
I can't. I don't understand people who have to put their nose in things like that and do kind of shit
Right.
like that. I really can't.
Hmm. There have been no major developments in his case since then, sadly. There are some theories of what could have happened. Detectives briefly considered that Brian may have been the victim of the smiley face killer. And I don't know if I'm sure many people are familiar with that. It's not like a confirmed serial killer, but the smiley face killer is said to prey on like intoxicated college age men in the Midwest. But nothing has really come from this. And victims in those cases are usually found dead by water, and we
Yeah.
have no body in this case.
Yeah.
Investigators received many tips. Some were hoaxes. Others didn't really lead to any further developments. When he was alive, his dad Randy even made trips out of state in response to sightings of Brian. A popular rumor was that Brian was a homeless man in Mexico, but that was ruled out.
What's so sad is that they have literally nothing. So anything that was thrown at those parents, or specifically the dad, he would have been so desperate to go and.
Yeah, you got to take it because you just don't know.
Yeah, because he would rather go and be disappointed than sit at home wondering if that was the final answer.
Right? Yeah.
Isn't
I
that
can't imagine.
terrible? Yeah, I
Yeah,
could
it
not
is.
imagine.
No. So that's like just like full-time stress, 24/7.
Yeah, I could not. No. Again, I'll say it again. I cannot imagine.
No, me either. Sergeant Hurst, who is now retired, said, "I don't believe it was a suicide. Most people who commit suicide want to be found. They don't want to be left laying somewhere. Was he abducted? Everything that we looked at so far doesn't give us an indication that he was abducted. And then could he have left on his own? Absolutely. He had a lot going on, death of his mother, pressure of thinking about getting engaged, college exams, all kinds of things going on. He may have just said, 'Hey, I'm out,' and walked away. I've had people ask me, 'Do you think he has amnesia? Did something happen to him?' That's another possibility." And then he also said, "There's a strong possibility that he could still be alive."
I mean, there is a
Mm-hmm.
possibility,
There is. Because we literally have no evidence
We
to
have
go off of
nothing. And
to
also, like,
sway us one way or another.
no, and cadaver dogs didn't find anything. I mean, like,
Mm-hmm.
mm.
There's also a theory that Brian was killed inside the bar and taken out with the band equipment.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Of course, that crossed my mind
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
that he was killed or something inside that bar. But I mean, you said the police interviewed over
But it's
100
like how
people.
or why?
Yeah, like
Right.
what would be anybody's motive? How do you get away with it? Also, he walks in at 1:55. The bar's closing at 2. Like
It's not a lot
what?
of time.
Yeah, what?
Yeah. In one article I read, it mentioned that there may have been an argument between Brian and Reed or Brian and Florence. But I didn't really see that confirmed anywhere else. So I don't know if there was some tension between the three at some point, and
I
that was
mean,
why he had gone outside and talked to those other women. I don't know.
but also the friends were trying to find him afterwards. I would think if they
Yeah, they were looking for him to take him home.
Yeah, like I would think if they actually did something that they would probably just like, oh, let's get out of here instead of waiting around for him.
Right. Another theory was he was thrown down a garbage chute, or that he put on a disguise so he wasn't seen leaving the bar.
No, I don't
Well,
believe
like
that
he walked in with like jeans and a t-shirt on. Like, where
Yeah.
did he get a new disguise from? Unless, and like, why?
Yeah, no, that's you should stretch before you reach like that.
Yeah. So those are some of the theories that have been presented throughout the years.
Only one of them seems valid to me. The whole murder in the bar
Mm-hmm.
would
Yeah.
probably be the only one that could be in my top 5 what happened here.
Mm-hmm. Right. It's just like, if he is alive and he somehow did get out and just wasn't seen, like, where did he go?
And
Like, did
why?
he get cold feet and didn't want to go on this trip to Miami? Did he have
There's
some sort of mental breakdown over the loss of his mom and exams? But then where did he go, and why isn't he telling people I'm okay?
Yeah. Well, yeah, with him having no other cell phone activity, no other card activity or anything like that,
Mm-hmm.
in this day and age, and I know this was back in 2006, but still, I feel like it's so hard to just disappear like that
Right.
without a trace whatsoever and still be alive, you know?
Right. And even if he did, if he is still alive and he chose to leave on his own, like, would he really not come back for his dad's funeral?
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. In 2016, Brian's brother Derek shared that he does not believe that his brother intentionally disappeared. He said he was going to do great things as a doctor. He wasn't into drugs or anything like that. I don't think he would just take off and never contact us again. No, he wouldn't have done that to us. I'm afraid that something bad did happen and we may never find out. Derek believes that Florence may know more than he originally let on because he eventually hired a lawyer who advised him to stop speaking to authorities. So this is the friend that didn't take the polygraph. He now has a lawyer. So,
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
yeah, that does look weird if you're
Or maybe he's
innocent.
being cautious. I don't know.
Maybe. But, like, it's not like he was a suspect.
No. And also, um, like, he's seen on footage and stuff. I feel like if he would have been a solid suspect for police to be looking into, they would have seen something on that footage that would have made them question as to, like, oh, maybe you had this amount of time in between here and here, you know, to, like, do this or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
And
But it's
if,
just that short little window and then he's gone.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. And then obviously the boys were then waiting for him. So it's like,
Hmm.
I feel like the police would have had to confirm that they would have had time for him to do something to Brian, you know?
Right. Yeah.
So if the police looked at the footage and could sit here and be like, oh, well, by the time we see Florence downstairs, it's only been 3 minutes or 5 minutes since we saw Brian, you know, that's not enough time
Hmm.
for him to do anything. So, like, you could
Right.
automatically be like, well, he couldn't have done it. He's standing right there.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know.
Derek also said, I didn't know Clint very well, but I always thought something was off with him. The way he talked about my brother after he went missing, kind of in a negative way, I wouldn't expect that from someone whose friend vanished. If Clint knew something, I hope he would share it. I deserve to know. So, and also was kind of, I couldn't find exactly what negative things he was saying about Brian, but like, yeah, why would you say something bad about your missing friend? That also looks sketchy.
I know, but like, also in another perspective, is Derek getting to the point of like really reading in between lines that he doesn't need to read
Right.
in between.
Right, because I don't know what was said.
Yeah. So, and since we don't know, I can't give an opinion either. He may
Yeah.
be reading in between lines where he shouldn't, or maybe he did actually say something that was hurtful or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Florence's attorney Neil Rosenberg wrote a statement in 2008 saying, if Brian is alive, which is what I'm led to believe after speaking with the detective involved, then it is Brian and not Clint who is causing his family pain and hardship. Brian should come forward and end this. So I feel like that's just written in poor taste a little bit.
Yeah, I don't like the way they wrote that. That's yeah, the
like
way
victim blaming.
yeah, that's real. Whoever wrote that, they gaslight their wife. I can tell it.
So it's like, and like, why are they being so aggressive when like he's not a suspect? He's not been listed as a suspect.
Yeah, that it was quite aggressive the way they worded that. They could have worded that a lot nicer.
I agree. At the time of his disappearance, Brian was 6'2" and 165 pounds. He had brown hair and hazel eyes. He had a Pearl Jam tattoo on his it's right arm. I think I said left arm earlier. And a dot on the iris of his left eye. He was last seen wearing jeans, a blue or green striped shirt, and tennis shoes. Anyone with information regarding the disappearance of Brian Shaffer is urged to call the Columbus Police Department at 614-645-4545 or Central Ohio Crime Stoppers Anonymous tip line at 614-461-8477.
So what is your theory?
I don't know in this one. Because
really?
of
You have
5
none.
minutes.
Yeah.
5 minutes. Where did you go?
Yeah.
Like, could something have happened inside in that short time and yeah, someone deleted footage? I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know either.
And like, I don't know if there's proof that footage could have been deleted. Like, if they were paying close attention to timestamps, like, oh, now this little scene, the time doesn't match from what I just watched or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if they looked at that, if there was any obvious tampering. And at the same time, it was 2006, so how like high tech was this camera?
Yeah, that too. Yeah. I don't know if I have a theory really. The only thing that is that if, I don't know, an employee or somebody was involved while he was in the bar, but like you said, the timing is so fast.
5 minutes, yeah, like that would have had to have been like, I feel like something really pre-planned.
What if
And
we are in a matrix and he just glitched on out of here?
I mean, that's possible.
I'm telling you, that's my
Brandon
other
believes
theory.
we're living in a simulation.
I do sometimes.
So,
because this fucking sucks.
yeah. Yeah.
So I literally,
anything's possible.
That is honestly one of my top theories. I would say is like he was just yoinked right out of the matrix here, and who knows where Brian is?
Yeah, it's scary. How do you disappear like that in the blink of an eye?
Blink of an eye, here and then you're gone.
No, nothing left behind. No evidence. Can you hear the ice cream truck?
There's, yeah. I couldn't tell that it was the ice cream truck, but I could hear a little like, it almost sounded like humming or something in the background.
Mm-hmm.
The ice cream. Oh, spring! Better get out there, Mr. Softy. Damn, Mr. Softy made me lose my train of thought. Oh, my theories would either be the glitch in the Matrix, the whole murder possibly happened. Those are probably my top two, but I really do not think there's much weight behind like him running away or anything like that, because he had too much going for him. There's no way he spent nights and nights and nights studying for him to just give up on that shit.
Right. And yeah, he was grieving, but it seemed like he was still being productive.
Yeah.
Like he was still getting done what he needed to. He was looking forward to this Miami trip. He likes tropical places.
Yeah. And he literally said to his soon-to-be fiance, you know, I love you, I'll see you.
Yeah, I'll see you in a few days. Yeah.
Yeah, like that was his plan. That was the plan.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and if he had somehow like exited through that construction scene, like, then where did he go after that? Like, nearby bars didn't capture him on surveillance.
Yeah. I mean, the only other thing, I guess the third theory for me would be is if he did go out the back to that construction site, is that he unfortunately, I don't know, fell in a hole or got hurt somehow and construction continued without them realizing there was a body there, and that was it.
I guess, yeah. But like, I don't know. Like, I don't know exactly what all the construction was.
No, and also, why is he going out the back door? He just came in the front door. He knows.
Yeah, he really just came in. You can't like forget where he is already.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure wherever this door is for staff probably would have been more effort for him to go try and find that versus going out the escalator front door.
Because the bar was closing in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That's what I don't understand.
So, like, even that, like, me saying that out loud now and, like, talking through that theory, that's kind of garbage. It's not a good theory.
Yes. Like I that's why like I have no idea what happened in this. Like I don't have a theory in this one.
No, this one's tough
because it just makes no sense.
That one does make absolutely no sense and boggles my
Like this
mind.
case is
That
one I think about from time to time because it's like so bizarre.
yeah, that's like the what's her name?
Mara Murray.
Yeah, you. I know. I knew you would read my mind because that's just how this relationship is. I knew.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that one is so bizarre too.
Yeah, because of the circumstances on that one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And
Wow.
Brandon Swanson and Bryce Laspisa.
Yeah, the Brandon Swanson one gets me. That's one that really gets me.
Yeah, it's like they were so close.
Yeah. And what a
like
weird.
They were on the phone.
Yeah, what a weird events leading up,
right?
you know.
Like what could have happened other than like he fell in a ditch and ended up in another world. Like
yeah, like sinkhole went to the
yeah
to the center of the earth, you know.
Yeah, I don't. It's so weird.
It is so weird.
Guess we'll have to cover that one soon.
Yeah, that's another good one. You have to put that. If it's not on the list, we'll have to put it on the list.
Yeah, I did add it on the list.
Did you? Okay, good.
But yeah, let us know what your tips or what your theories are.
Yeah, I'm very curious what anybody's theories are on this one because this one's leaving.
Yeah, or
me...
if you have something creative we didn't talk about, like let us know.
Yeah, different perspective.
Leave a comment. Leave it here, YouTube, Spotify, Instagram. Leave us a comment because
yeah,
I need closure. I need an answer in this case.
Help Kirsten get closure for herself. No, but we do need closure in this case for his family, his brother, I guess, you know.
And his poor dad didn't get to figure out what happened.
Yeah, that is really sad. Oh, make like a follow. Make like a shadow and follow us on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook at
Lurking in the Shadows Podcast.
Check us out on TikTok at
Lurking in the Shadows Pod.
Send us any case suggestions or any feedback at our Gmail.
At Lurking in the Shadows Podcast at gmail.com. And keep lurking around for our next episode.
Bye.
Bye.